I'm on Long Island, New York, and we're here to check out a guy named Andrew's aquarium. It is the most expensive personal aquarium in the entire country. And it's right here inside this $10 million home. I cannot wait to go check it out. Here we go, guys. I cannot wait to see this. Holy moly. Oh my God. What is going on?
Nice to finally meet you.
This is crazy. The thing I didn't realize actually sunk into the ground like this.
Can I get you guys anything to drink, eat, nothing?
Take a look at how thick this acrylic is.
Did you have breakfast?
Gotta be like 4 or 5 inches thick. Corals, fish like crazy. Probably the most fish I've ever seen in a reef tank in my life.
It's not just fish. The thing is that there's fish there nowhere else in the world. Andrew started this tank thinking it was gonna be fish only, and that's why he got some of the most exotic fish, but then the reef came.
How deep is this? 10, 12 feet?
7 to the eyes and 2 down below. So it's 9 feet total.
9 feet total.
And the lights, honestly, we're running max spec commercial LEDs. There's 2 1,000 watters here, the square ones, and the rest are 500 watts.
How did they get these panels in?
Crane through that garage opening.
How thick is it? Are these 6?
4-inch acrylic.
4-inch acrylic, okay.
4 inch. This tank actually probably has some of the rarest fish in the world in it.
Really?
Yeah, this yellow dot fish called the narcosis angel. There's 2 in the world, and I have them both.
What?
That's it. You can't get these Hawaiian anthers anymore. Hawaii closed up. And the nice thing about this tank is it's coming down, and we're getting a 900-gallon drop down. Replace it with.
The aesthetics is just as important as the actual coral. So the way you even present the corals and how you put them on the rock, how Andrew will put these SPS in this one area that needs this part, these lower tier part guys are over here. It's an aesthetic thing more than anything.
Right, yeah, it's art.
The computer that runs this thing, it's got more lines and code than the average water plant. Sump levels, skimmers, UV system, there's the closed loop. We do water changes through here, it's all automatic. These are quarantines to start. Yep.
How long do they stay in here before they would eventually make it into that tank?
It depends on what kind of coral it is and where they came from. So if it's a tank that I didn't trust, or they've had fish recently and it has hard rock, I won't take a chance with any kind of cryptocaran or velvet running in there. So they'll stay here 6 weeks.
You've got so much coral in there. You don't want anything to go wrong.
All elements you see here, fluoride and iron. So this is coming down and we're getting more grow out tanks on this.
Why did you do this?
I've always had this passion. I built some tanks in a custom house. The marriage blew up, and so I vowed to do it again bigger and better the next time. So I have a new second wife, and we bought this house. I just wanted to make up for the lost years.
Unbelievably impressive. I got to ask you a question.
Yep.
How much did this cost?
It really depends on whether you include the construction for all that basement work. It's well into the 8 figures.
Well into the 8 figures.
Well, it's not. It's more than 10.
Wow.
Probably just a few $1 million of just the contents of coral and fish in here. Just alone.
Oh yeah, there's a couple $1 million just in corals.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The thing that's impressive is because you've done it so right, you're able to really have a lot more bio in here with the fish. Do you even have an idea how many fish are in here?
We lost track in quarantine. There was a period of time when we were counting, and I asked Yeltsin how many gobies or whatever anthers you just put in, and he said,
uh-oh.
And then we stopped counting. We couldn't count all the anthias and all the things on the bottom and the sand gobies. We're thinking 400 to 600.
Yeah,
in that zip code.
And is there anything that's special? Like there's so many beautiful and rare fish in here. Are there ones that you look at and go like, wow, that's my babies?
There's 2 that are one of a kind that people never seen before. One, I call them a test tube baby. There was 2 angels that were put together in a lab that would never meet in the wild. Hybrid conspict that he showed you with the blue line. And then that one from Maldives right here, this one that was caught, this
I was gonna say, this
sailfin
is
Destradini aberrant tank. He's actually getting darker as we speak. I'm kind of bummed out about it. So they do change. Dietary distress.
Gosh, there's so much to look at here. It's so cool.
This is our coral care station. We read and we have access to some of the most well-known folks.
We still see pests like they were like, what the hell is that? Like literally, we have to identify or ask a question.
Sometimes a pest can come in and people don't know what to do. Right. One of the ways to identify it, you have this little microscope that we use. You can see the level of clarity that it has. I quickly identify what is it, a worm, a bug, whatever the case may be. I record it and I send it out to folks so they can tell me if they've seen it before and how they've handled it.
Reactors and skimmers.
Wow, that's some big.
Yeah, it's a big skimmer. It's a big sulfur reactor. So good that we have to add nitrate.
You gotta add nitrate.
Yeah.
Wow. These skimmers are giant. Everything in here is live corals, right? I mean, there's no inserts.
No.
Jeez, that's crazy. I mean,
and everything was placed in by hand and with a dive. I mean, there's stuff already that's fallen. You see a piece of coral that's fallen there. It's not like I can go get this. You gotta go in.
Gotta go in.
We would like to give you this for coming, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
These are the dehumidifiers.
Okay, gotcha.
And then so everything else is chill it, dehumidifier.
What temperature is the tank kept at about?
Keep it at 77.5.
Looks like we're getting into the QT area, the quarantine area here. This is where stuff is going to be quarantined. This is pretty cool. Oh wow, look at this.
That's one of 3 tubs, 5,000 gallons of salt water. When we brought these in, there's no roof. You can't have a roof to put these in.
5,000 gallons of overflow water here, that salt water that's mixing and pumping back in the tank when they're actually doing water tank.
Quarantine here with quarantine inverts, mostly snails. All these fish are in meds right now, and they're going to go in.
So these came in during QT, and we'll go into...
Correct. This is the grow-out tank of ours.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that is ridiculous.
It's nice, right?
Oh my
Some nice corals in here that we're growing out. Connected to the main system, a little different lighting.
The main difference between fresh and salt water is the purification of your base water. Salt water, you're not taking off the sink. Fresh water, you can get away with that. We purify the water to the point where it's sterile before we do the salt water mix. This is our unit.
Yeah, it's your RO
That
stuff.
makes 10,000 gallons a day. A lot of people get drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
This thing comes out like a garden hose.
Look at this. Even the bathroom is ocean themed. I mean, wow. This is heaven. This is awesome. So Andrew told me that he's into another hobby that I don't know exactly what it is, but we're actually going to see another tank, and I'm assuming we're going to find out what that...
2 other tanks and another hobby.
2 other tanks and another hobby.
Tank that's connected.
Okay, so this is actually plumbed down to the basement
Correct.
as well.
And these fish are one of the rarest fish in the world. This is a Hawaiian Personalis angels from deep water Hawaii.
One day I've got to get one of these in my office for sure. You think Lori would allow that? Yeah, probably not.
These are actually reef-safe angels, and they will make their way to this 2,500.
Right, so this is the tank that you're working on.
Correct. There's no power. We're waiting for all the automation.
Oh, man.
Oh my
Get out
God.
of here. Karaoke, guys. Let's go.
When you hear it, you'll understand that I can't. I'll turn it off.
Everyone sit down.
So literally, Andrew says this is like being at a live concert. So let's do this.
Sumps that are in the concrete go down 14 feet.
Wow. So guys, when we saw the 2,500 gallon and the 5,000 gallon reserve water, you can actually see this is the 5,000 here. You can see where we're actually 40 feet below grade right now in the kind of bowels of the whole system here. This is crazy cool. It's wow. Dude, this is crazy, man.
This is the craziest thing I did, probably.
So this is actually the sump for that smaller tank and then an office tank as well. So it basically drains down here, and this is the sump for that. Wow. So this is the sump for the big tank right here. This is where everything is going to come down 1,300 gallons an hour. 1,300 gallons per minute. Per minute. 1,300 gallons per minute is coming into the sump. That is ridiculous. Again, look at all of the plumbing. When you get into aquariums, guys, it can get extremely complicated, and Andrew definitely has this down to a science. I didn't realize it was going to be as pro as this. It is absolutely as pro as it gets. This is more pro than most public aquariums I've ever been to. It's like
10-foot UV.
UV, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
That's got 10 bulbs, just about 375 watts per bulb, 4,000 watts.
That's a lot of energy just in UV right there.
300,000 microjoules, so will kill free-swimming ick and velvet. These reef tanks come down to 4 things. You got to get the flow and the light correct. You must get the water chemistry correct and stable. Can't let parasites and pests enter. Those are the 4 things. You get those 4 down, most of these reefs take care of themselves. Ready?
Yes, sir.
This is my automation.
Oh my goodness. This is the computer center for running that tank.
The Apex, but it's a custom Apex PLC.
Yeah.
These are the VFDs. These VFDs monitor the engines and the speed of the engines and all sorts of crazy things.
That is ridiculous.
There's like 60 or 80 probes on this system measuring pH, ORP, flow sensors on every single pipe.
I'm never going to reach this level, but I appreciate.
I can't believe it myself.
You're like breaking ground.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. I'm so fascinated by just the guts of what you're doing here, because you see this beautiful tank, right?
Right.
And you don't see
it,
all of this. It's ridiculous. It's like a year just to set this up.
Yeah.
5 years to set the basement up. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous what you put into
And
it.
then we had a leak right while we were cycling. It took another 6 months where the manufacturer basically had to come and repaint, resand, re-silicone, and redo. 6 months set me back. Chromium, rubidium, molybdenum, iron, zinc, barium, cobalt, and we have a sheet shows the amount to dose, and basically we send samples to the lab lab to the ICP every 2 weeks, whether the levels need to be increased or decreased from there. So it's all interpolation based on lab results.
One of the things that's super impressive is that Andrew isn't just someone that's paying for this. He actually knows every aspect of what he's paying for. He understands the filtration. He understands all the chemistry behind it. You can't do this unless you're as intensely into it as Andrew is as a hobbyist. So I'm just really curious. I mean, how much does it cost to maintain this tank per month?
So it's a little bit of a loaded question because there's some labor here, as you know, for the social media part. However, I'll give you some numbers. Electricity, supplies, and general maintenance are in the 30 to 40,000 a month range.
You guys really
30 to 40,000 a month range. And then we think there's another 40,000 related to the business of Polar Reef and my staff.
Wow, so we're talking about up to $80,000+ a month just to keep this going. I mean, that is dedication. It was so awesome to come here and that Andrew let us check this amazing tank